Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper here with Audiomodern, and today we're checking out the brand new VST plugin, Playbeat. This is a Creative Groove Randomizer plugin that generates beats and patterns for you, unlike an ordinary step sequencer. Playbeat creates patterns using algorithmic and random procedures for generating notes by combining steps, pitch, volume, and more. Okay, so this is Playbeat on the screen here, and we have 4 different slots to load 4 different samples, and we can click the plus button to bring up a browser, or we can simply drag and drop from a samples folder inside of a DAW. So once that sample has been loaded, I can now just click the randomizer button and it's going to generate a sequence for me on the step sequencer down here at the bottom. This top sample corresponds to this top step sequencer, and the second one, and so on. Now, when I hit the randomizer button here, by default, Playbeat is going to randomize the steps, the pitch, and the volume for each one of those steps. So I also want to point out at this time that not only can you use this big die up here to globally change, all the settings for this track or all the tracks at once, but the same deal goes for all or individually these dies down here for each one of the steps, pitch, and volume lanes. So if I click this, it's going to randomize. If I'm on all, it's going to randomize them all just on the steps. If I come in here to steps, below steps, you'll see 2 values, 6 and 6. This is the most amount of steps that the randomizer will add and the least amount. So right now it's going to generate 6 steps no matter what. If I crank this down to something like 1, I should start to see some random values. So we had 3, 4, and so on. Pitch. This is the range that this will be pitched from. So you'll need to think about semitones in relation to C3, which is the starting position when you load a sample. And volume, again, your range. 127 will be your max, and 0 will obviously be silent. Another note about loading samples, over here you'll see a table. This is actually the waveform of the sample, and if I want to change the starting position of that, I can simply click this triangle and move over. I'm going to come back over to steps here. And if I have this channel selected, channel 4, and I hit the randomizer, it's going to randomize for the channel 4's step sequencer. If I want to randomize everything, I just select all and then hit randomize. And here we go. I'm going to have to come in and change these values again. And we have a nice little groove going, and it's that simple. From launching the application and loading 4 samples, hitting this button a couple of times, and I've got a nice little groove I can work with. And of course, I can always come down here and make any changes manually that I want to. And if I like a particular pattern, all you need to do is come down here and just click one of these slots, and it will update as a preset down here. And we can have quite a few different presets. Let's say I think it's a little bit too busy. I can easily just come down here and, change the maximum number. And again, if I like that pattern, simply click on one of these. Now, at any time, we can solo any channel. We can mute channels. We can erase channels by clicking the eraser here. And we can also duplicate a pattern to a different channel. So let's say I like this pattern, but I want to double it on these 2 channels. Simply click and drag, and boom, there we go. Now, some other really cool things about Playbeat. Let's say I don't want to be pitching any of my samples. I'm going to reset the plugin by clicking this right here. And with pitch selected, I'm going to manually lock that. So that means if I hit the randomizer here and it loads up my steps, changes the volumes or randomizes the volumes. If I come into pitch, you'll see that all of the pitches are on C3 exactly where they should be. And you can do that for steps, pitch, or volume. And also, while we're talking about different things you can do with these three main parameters, you can come in and just like you can add different steps, you can come in and manually adjust your pitches or your volumes as well. There's also a shuffle amount over here. Off is going to play quantized to the beat, but you can get some really cool shuffling going on by sliding this over. Very, very nice. Over here, we'll change how quickly the step sequencer plays. We can also reduce the number of steps by sliding this over. And there's also this really cool infinity switch here. What this does when activated will switch up the pattern automatically every time the step sequencer cycles through. So this is a really good way to find patterns that you like, and then you can just stop and save them as presets. Or if you're trying to keep like an evolving musical performance going, this is another way to do it as well. The number next to it is how many times the step sequencer will loop before changing. So now it will loop twice through this particular pattern before changing and randomizing again. If you ever want to clear your presets down here, any particular one or all of them, you click this button right here, and then you can come in and remove them that way. If you're trying to save a preset with a name, you do that with the pencil icon. This is where the MIDI settings can be found, and you can also change the size by clicking these two arrows as well. So that's just a quick overview of all the parameters inside of Playbeat. I highly suggest checking it out using the link in the video description. I'm Joshua Casper here for Audiomodern, and I'll see you in the next video.